What's up, YouTube? Today, I wanted to go over a very fun Daken combo deck. If you are familiar with Perry Manilow, who streams on Twitch and makes really fun, inventive decks, he was a huge fan of Daken back in the day. He made a deck called Vampire Slayer using Ravonna Renslayer, Daken, and then it would usually go because of Ravonna discounting Arnim Zola, it would use Arnim Zola to duplicate the Daken twice. You'd get 3 shards in hand, and then you would discard them all with MODOK on turn 6. Then there were different ways that the deck would use to try to get that combo off, and some backup plans in Morbius and Dracula. I loved playing the deck back in the day, and I still always have never deleted the deck. I've always used some version of it, and over time it's morphed into a couple different ways to get that combo going, and a couple backup plans as well. And this is the deck as it stands today. Figured I would go over card by card, explain the different ways to pull off the combo, because you know I'm a dirty combo player. I just enjoy them, and even when it's discard, I like to find a way. And this deck has really elevated since Bullseye released. A lot of people play Bullseye. I know the typical deck is the Alex Kocha deck that uses Collector and Frigga. I don't play any of that. I still play the old Vampire Slayer deck, but with a couple little twists. So let's go over card by card. Blade, this is quintessential discard. It's an early drop that you're normally not going to use unless you want to clear hand space. Sometimes when your hand doesn't look great, you just need to get rid of a card that isn't necessary for the combo. And so sometimes I'll use Blade for that. Otherwise, it's going to clear out a shard right after I play Daken, and that's the main use for the card. You sometimes get into games where you don't see Daken at all, and you're just going for the typical drop Dracula, MODOK, and then Blade for an extra discard on Apocalypse. So that's the other way you would use Blade, but for the most part, it's not extremely core to the deck. It just helps fill out the curve a bit. Morbius, this is one of the backup plans for when you don't see Daken. You can drop Morbius in a solo lane, and then Arnim Zola it, and then MODOK and other discard things, and you get a decently big 2 Morbiuses on the board. Otherwise, it's just a little extra bonus whenever you don't hit your great combo. It's Morbius. I mean, you're going to get, usually over the course of the game, maybe 5, 6, possibly even more discards, so it's just a 2/10 in that case, so it's hard to cut this card. Ravonna, there's a lot of targets in this deck for Ravonna, from Dracula, Arnim Zola. That's the main thing that you're trying to discount, because it allows you to play Arnim Zola on turn 5 if you have to, which is what you want for the combo. Because once you create 2 Dakens with Arnim Zola and you get 3 shards discarded, that's going to make each of your Dakens 32 power, which in separate lanes, that's usually enough to win a game, unless you're facing something like the crazy Moonstone combo deck that I play. Magic is one of our other ways to get to the combo if we don't have Ravonna. And obviously it's disruptible, Legion can mess it up, but when you get 7 turns, you're more likely to see more cards, and you're also more likely to then be able to play Arnim Zola on turn 6, and then play your MODOK on turn 7. So that's why Magic's here. Bullseye has really helped the consistency of this deck, because it adds another way to get rid of the shards. As you know, if you've played the other Bullseye decks out there, that's typically going with Frigga on Daken, and then Bullseye is just going to discard those shards. Same basic principle here. You can not worry about Arnim Zola till turn 6, so if you don't ever see Ravonna or Magic, you literally just need 3 cards for the combo when you have Bullseye. You need Daken, Bullseye, Arnim Zola, and you don't need to see MODOK. So it's obviously susceptible to something like Red Guardian. I'll sometimes pair it with a lower cost card if I need to, or Blade, but Bullseye just helps consistency of the combo. Daken, this is the most fun card in the deck for me because it's the main combo piece, and it's just fun to see it go off. It's especially fun playing Daken down on Shuri's Lab when you're doubling it already, because then you're getting even bigger Dakens after the triple shard discard. So yeah, gotta play Daken in a Daken deck, obviously. Dracula, one of the other backup plans, like you would with Morbius, if you don't see Daken, don't see Morbius, Dracula can be pretty great. Create 2 Draculas on the board, MODOK, and then Apocalypse, and that can still be a lot of power. Otherwise, it's just good in a basic discard plan if you need to go that route as well. Dracula down, MODOK, it's going to be pretty big with an Apocalypse. Supergiant, like I said, this deck has a ton of ways to get your combo off if you see the right cards, and if you see Daken, basically any way is going to get you there. The way with Supergiant is Daken on turn 3, Supergiant on turn 4, and then you can play out your MODOK on turn 5 safely, hidden by the Supergiant, and play Arnim Zola on turn 6. It can also, I just love Supergiant in general. I've played several Supergiant decks before, put one up on the channel. It's great for disrupting other game plans like Doom 2099, great for disrupting opposing MODOKs if they need them on that turn, for Hela or something like that, but I do enjoy the card. Iron Lad, I actually took a long, hard look at Iron Lad trying to decide if I wanted to cut it from this deck this time around. The basic problem is, so I would use it late in the game to try to hit a, MODOK if I needed it, or an Arnim Zola on turn 5 if I needed it, desperately didn't see it in hand. The problem is, if Iron Lad hits your Daken, the shards discarding do not buff the Iron Lad, because those shards specifically say double the power of Daken. So that's the problem with Iron Lad in this deck. I still think it's okay, and I haven't found a better replacement. So for now, it stays. MODOK, just a way to discard the shards. It's a way to do a backup plan with Dracula and Apocalypse. You need MODOK. Arnim Zola, like I said before, with Daken, that's the goal. You can also use Arnim Zola on Morbius or Dracula if you need to, but core combo part. And then Apocalypse is part of your backup plan. Like I've said ad nauseum with Dracula, with MODOK, that's why Apocalypse is here, and I think you probably know that by now if you've been playing the game for a while. It's one of the discard cards. But that's the deck. Just leave a like if you can, a comment. I respond to every single comment. And subscribe to the channel for more decks like this. Getting some gameplay now. Not going to use the blade here. MODOK is too potentially strong in this combo. I try to avoid the Forge until I can magic it away. And I'll play Morbius here because if this lane opens up as being difficult to play in, I want it to be leaving the middle lane open for Daken then. Okay. I think I'll magic first. Then I'll Daken next turn. I do have the combo in hand. King Yitri, so it's probably a Loki deck. And there's no Agamotto. Okay, we're fine with the Red Guardian, so that was what the snap was for. So far so good. I think I'll just Daken and Blade. Keep our hand tight. Oh, so it's Thor's deck. Interesting. Maybe a Firehair Thor's deck. Get the bullseye down. Don't believe this deck plays Shang-Chi. I think next turn I'm just gonna Arnim Zola and activate Bullseye in case there's some kind of shenanigans going on with them getting rid of Limbo. gonna snap. I have priority, so I think they might be out of interaction to the combo. And Beta Ray Bill in the middle is helpful because I'm going to be vacating the middle with Arnim Zola. Nice. Threat of combo. Took that one down. But we did have it in hand. Rank 170. Usually don't have a turn 1 play unless there's some juicy blade target, like Apocalypse. And in this case, no turn 2 either. We don't see Morbius or Ravona. This is possibly Mr. Negative. So do we have bad hits for Sakaar? Not really. I think I'd rather Magic the Dream Dimension. And we could mess them up with a Sakaar. So let's... Oh, the only problem is Thunderbolt's Tower. Let's just dock in here. Oh, I guess we don't want the shard to go. Oh, that's fine. Magic. White Tiger, okay. So, some kind of on reveal deck, maybe Namora? Just get Dracula down, I suppose. Yeah. Misery, Firehair. Okay. We have Morbius Blade, Supergiant MODOK left in deck. I don't want to accidentally MODOK into Iron Lad in the MODOK, so I think we just play Bullseye. Okay. So the Arnim Zola for them was from Iron Patriot. What are the chances of them having location disruption? Probably high enough that we'll just play it safe and Bullseye here. They Frigga Victoria hand, okay. And this does clean our hand up for possible MODOK draw for APOC into Dracula. Okay. So I can make 10 in the middle. That's not good enough to win it anyway. So I suppose we'll just MODOK Ravona. No snap from them. Okay. Cool. So with Adelan, Ravona and Blade are both not core to the deck combo. So I'm going to Blade and clear out some space for better draws after the Adelan. So I can choose now. I think just magic on the vault. Not crazy about this hand. Alright, so Victoria hand, Fire Hair deck. So if I had Modok in hand, Super Giant would be a good play here. Daken, then Super Giant. But I'm just going to play out Daken. Victoria hand Frigga. So now I could Super Giant into Modok into Arnim Zola. I think I might do that. Unfortunately, they're going to have priority now. So if any of those cards are Shang-Chi, this is a little fraught. So I'm not going to snap. And we'll see if they hit a Shang-Chi back there. Okay. Should be a win. A lot of animations got to play out though first. Alright, well there's the combo. Probably a good place to stop. So yeah, here's one final look at the deck. I hope that gave a pretty good showing of the different lines that this deck can take, the different ways the combo can play out. I think it's a fun deck. It's not extremely competitive, but if you're looking for a different type of discard deck, a little bit different than the normal Bullseye deck with a couple different ways to get to the combo, this one's pretty much all in on Daken, but like I said, Dracula, Morbius, there's other ways to win some games. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll have another cool deck coming for you soon, trying out something with Khonshu and Firehair is my goal. If we get some good games out of that, I'll put up a gameplay of that. Like, comment, subscribe, and catch you next time. Later.